Number 7. You can milk pretty much anything with nipples. But before you head to the grocery store looking for a gallon of sweet, sweet snake milk, please remember that snakes are reptiles and lack the equipment necessary for milk production. However, milking snakes is a real profession. Although if you tell someone that you're a snake milker, they'll probably assume that you have several videos up on Xhamster. In most cases, what this job actually entails is holding a snake's head as it bites into a rubber cap on top of a glass vial. This allows for the extraction of venom for medical research, but also for the production of antivenom. Cobras, mambas, pit vipers, and copperheads are just a few of the species that these workers have to deal with. Despite the use of protective equipment, snake milkers are still risking a bite from some of the planet's deadliest creatures. Number 6. I'm sure you've seen those huge transmission tower networks that stretch into the horizon when you're on a road trip. They carry high voltage power lines that give us the wonderful gift of electricity. When it comes to height, most towers max out at roughly 180 feet. However, the tallest on record can be found in China, and they stand at a dizzying 1,214 feet. Whenever there's a problem with these giant pylons, maintenance workers are responsible for getting up there and fixing it. In most countries, there are rigorous safety protocols. Nevertheless, accidents still occur and may end in a deadly fall or getting electrocuted to a crisp. Number 5. Whenever you see your favorite action film actor doing something crazy on screen, whether it's dodging explosions, fighting ninjas, or crashing cars, there's a big chance that the actor's not actually on screen. Deemed too risky for the talent, stunt doubles are often called in to do the heavy lifting. Before the cameras start rolling, the professional risk takers will typically be made to look like our protagonist. Stunt doubles are essentially people who've made it their lives' work to get the bruises, cuts, fractures, and concussions that pave the way for movie magic. Number 4. It goes without saying that working deep within the Earth's bowels tends to be quite dangerous. Underground miners often risk death and long-term health issues. Exposure to rock dust can cause a number of lung diseases, and gases in the mine can cause asphyxiation. Some of these gases, if ignited, will result in catastrophic explosions. Cave-ins, rockfalls, and prolonged exposure to heat are also daily hazards. And if all that wasn't bad enough, since the mining equipment is crazy loud, workers also risk partial or total hearing loss. Number 3. Lumberjacking hasn't stopped being dangerous ever since the first man looked at a tree and decided to bring it down and take it home. One of the most obvious dangers is for someone to be crushed under the weight of a tree. Oddly enough, the technological developments associated with logging have only added to the risks. By some estimates, the majority of injuries and deaths stem from the misuse or poor maintenance of the power tools and heavy machinery used in logging. I guess it would have been better to stick with axes and saws. Stupid. That's because, in terms of raw data, the profession claims more lives per year than any other one on our list. Number 2. It's a simple logical leap to assume that if commercial flying is one of the safest forms of travel, then being a commercial pilot has to be one of the safest jobs, right? Yet there's a big but floating around the clouds. Not all flying is done in those giant steel fortresses with roaring jet engines attached to enormous wings. The pilots of air taxis, small air shuttles, and other private aviators have some of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Their aircrafts are much more vulnerable to the elements, and as such, the risk of death is much higher. Another factor that contributes to the high fatality rate is that the degree of regulation and maintenance of a small aircraft is often way beneath the commercial level. In fact, strictly statistically speaking, small aircraft accidents are closer to your everyday traffic accidents than they are to the incidents taking place in commercial aviation. Number 1. Getting crushed, drowned, or blown up. Any of these is a potential outcome in the dangerous world of underwater welding. This highly specialized job is commonly associated with shipbuilding, as well as repairing underwater pipelines, oil platforms, or communication cable casing. While there aren't currently many workers in this field, it's set to increase in the years to come as we begin to expand our use of underwater resources. The long-term dangers of underwater welding include cognitive defects. Still, you only have to deal with that if electric shock, decompression sickness, or collapsing structures don't get you first.